Good morning, Young Kings. Time for your morning motivation this morning. I'm going to get started. I just ran 6 miles this morning and was feeling pretty good. Got it under the 10 minutes. I think I did it in 57 minutes. So, um, doing pretty good. Felt pretty good. Um, as I was running this morning, I was doing a lot of thinking and some praying, and I realized this Space Jam is a difficult series to do because this element of space is different. And as I was running this morning, I was dealing with um, a lot of insecurities. I'll put it that way. A lot of things that I've been seeing for a while that are now into to fruition. So I'm not sure how long the series is going to be. I haven't been on the video in a while. I've been trying to make a video, but this space has been clouding my mind. So um, just being transparent and being open with you. This is one of the most difficult things that I went through. And when I was running today, it was I was talking about dealing in false hope. Um, and I'm not ignorant that this space is some magical potion that's going to make her miss me, and that's going to make her really desire to be with me because that desire hasn't been there for some time now. And we'll probably get into that later on in the video. Um, but the reality of it is, it's like it is what it is. It is what it is. So when I was running this morning, I did run by the house and I prayed and stuff like that. And I realized during this process, like, um, how to say it, nothing I do is going to be received as something positive. Like when you're mad at someone, anything that happens, whether they do it positive or whatever, like the incident that caused Arrested Development, um, when I end up going to jail because I broke a TV and I tore up a painting or something at the house. Everybody's response was like, "Hey, that's the reason why you pushing away. She's going down and she's going to be dating this guy because you're doing this." And I says, "No, no, that is a response. See, you're dealing with the response of me finding out she was down there dating. Like before that response, I was cooking dinner, I was mowing grass, I was writing 7-page letters. I was exactly 7-page letters. I was giving her flowers. I was, doing all these things, and she still chose to do that, and that's her choice. So it's not like, and people will make it seem like my response is what's caused her to do these things, and I'm saying no. I'm responding to something, like, and that's what people who try to console me or counsel me don't understand. It's like, yes, is my response too much? Yes, I need to control my response, and I'm going through the help to get that response under control to a point. But no one ever sees what I'm responding to, and they make the indictment like, if you wouldn't have done that, then maybe you could have worked it out. Like if we weren't working it out when I'm giving flowers and writing letters and and going over to do the yard and stuff like that, then hell no, we're not going to work it out after the TV is broke. So yes, my response trumped that instance. But the reality of it is, it's like dealing in this false hope, and people give you advice and say, hey, just give her some time, some space. And I'm saying, man, y'all don't know this woman. This woman is cold blooded, and why I love her. I mean, you can't help who you love. I told this woman in 11th grade I was going to marry her. I can't control that my heart has grasped her so hard and won't let go. But the reality of it is, it's like, man, this is a cold-hearted assassin. So I did watch the movie Space Jam. I think it came out in '93 with Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny, and it was right at the time where Michael Jordan in the movie, he was retiring for basketball. He had already won his 3 championships, and then his father died, and he was going to go play baseball. And in the movie, he was up to bat in baseball, and the umpire was a big Michael Jordan basketball fan, and he's talking to Michael Jordan as he up ready to bat, and he's giving Michael Jordan all these tips because I mean, he's on the opposing team, but he's such a fan of Michael Jordan um, that he's telling him, hey, this is going to be a low slider, do not swing. And so the ball comes, and Michael Jordan swings anyway. and he misses it. He's like, hey, I told you not to swing. You wasn't supposed to swing at that. So then he's all right. I'm gonna get you a pitch that you can hit. So he tells him he's throwing him a low slide, low ball to the outside pocket, but it's gonna be in the strike zone. So for him to swing, and Michael Jordan swings again and he misses. So he's all right. That's okay. I'm gonna get you an easy one. I'm gonna get you a ball that you can hit. And he lines it up and he throws another pitch, and Michael Jordan ends up striking out. And that's because that just wasn't his sport, meaning that um, his sport was basketball. And no matter how much advice the guy was giving him that might have been right or wrong, that wasn't his sport for him to excel in. So Michael Jordan struck out. And he's like, all right, don't worry about it. You did good. You look good. And then he goes back uh, to the bench where the other player, and it's like, Michael Jordan, even when you strike out, you look good. And he said, man, something about your swings and when you misses and stuff like that. And he said, man, when I strike out, I look bad, but you strike out, people cheer for you. And I realized in that, it's like a lot of people advice is giving me opportunities to strike out and things I'm doing on my own. Like that guy didn't make swing that bat for Michael Jordan. That was him swinging, and he was actually trying to hit the ball, and he just missed. So I'm all the way messed up. The people giving me advice is kind of telling me they're giving me advice, they're thinking they're helping me, and I'm missing the pitch. And the guy who's swinging the bat, who's trying to do his best, is missing the pitch as well. So I say all that to say this: like this Space Jam series, this is a difficult stage in my life. I'll just be honest, um, and I don't know how to really navigate it. So I just got to be upfront with you. This is it's extremely difficult, no matter what I do. If I try to do acts of kindness and stuff of that nature, it's going to be perceived as manipulation. If I give her space and stuff like that, then it's just going to be eradicated as well, like other dudes and stuff. I'm blocked on everything. So I did just get a call from her this morning, and she was pretty upset. Obviously, told me off and said I'm full of this and I'm full of that because I did leave her a message this morning. I said, look, um, you're gonna have to crucify me. Just chop my head off. Don't kill me with 1,000 small cuts. If you want out, chop my head off. Get your restraining order and start the divorce process. But don't say you need space to do this and that, and you doing all this other stuff that's gonna be continue to be in the rejection vein, calling it your piece. Like, yes, if you want your piece and you want it like that, then chop my head off. And I said it in the video. I says, if in a phone call, it's like if God brought me this far for you just to leave me, then you just gonna have to leave. Like what I'm doing now is like controlling my response management. So, and I told her, I said, look, I'm not ignorant to the fact of this false hope. And people say it was supposed to be 2 weeks, whatever it may be. But I'm not ignorant to the fact that this false hope that this space is going to create this magical bond. And you can go on YouTube, you can go to different places, and they talk about relationship, give them space, give them space, give them space, or whatever. And that's probably works for a lot of people. But as I was running this morning, it came. It's like that's false hope. In my situation, that's false hope, and I don't want to live in false hope anymore. Um, I want reality, and if that is our marriage is over, then by all means, let our marriage be over. Don't say that you need time to figure it out. Your mind is made up, and I realize this, and we're about to get into this. This is not to be um, damaging to her in any way, but the reality of it is, this woman has never chose me. Um, I have been seeking attention from this woman for 25 years. Like, I married this woman right out of the basic training. And before we got married, our agreement was that, hey, we get married, and I knew I was going to be stationed down in Georgia. So I was supposed to go down to Georgia, get our place set up, and then come back and send for the family to come join me. I do. We get married. I go to Georgia. I find my place. I come back to send for my friend to bring my family, and she tells me no, I'm not moving to Georgia. And she stays in Michigan while I'm stationed down in Georgia 3 years. So um, she's been rejecting me from the beginning. So my thing that I told her today, I was like, look, If you didn't choose me in the beginning, right after I married you at 19 years old, and I didn't do anything wrong, then what makes you think you're going to choose me after 25 years and I done done a lot wrong? Like, this illusion of this space is just, it's just ridiculous. It goes against conventional wisdom. If this woman was able to stay away from me 3 years right after I married her, and we had already talked about what the plan was to marry and go down to this military thing, and she chose not to do that. So yes, that's when the infidelity started. And I'm not blaming her because I responded wrong, but I'm saying she abandoned me the first 3 years of our marriage by selfishly staying in Michigan because she wasn't comfortable being away from home. She wanted to be with her mom. So yes, now everybody would blame the infidelity, but they won't acknowledge like, hey man, she abandoned you 3 years. I mean, from 20 to 23. Like, at that stage, I mean, realistically, I'm asking young kings like real talking, those grown men, those grown in royalty, like, how faithful are you during that 3 years? There was times I was on the phone crying, begging my wife to come down. And I told in the last video, my little brother had died during this time. So I'm dealing with a lot of stuff on my mind and begging her to come down. And she told me to grow up. I'm gonna have to deal with it like a man. So if she didn't choose me in the beginning, she's not going to choose me when I give her 2 weeks of space or give her another 2 years of space. She's not going to choose me. So I get an opportunity to go to college, full scholarship, you know. And I call her and say, hey, look, I can either stay in and while you finish school, or I can get out and take this scholarship. And I could have chose any college to go to. It was a tier 2. So it gave me a stipend for a certain amount of money per year, and it was going to give me an apartment and a stipend to take care of my family because I had a family. So, bottom line, she wouldn't make a decision. She says, I don't know if I want to be traveling around and this and that. So I end up accepting a scholarship. And of all the schools I could have chose, the closest one I could have got back to Michigan was Eastern Michigan, which is about 45 minutes from here. Now, I get a scholarship, and once again, the thing is for me to go to school, to get the apartment set up, and then to send for my family. So I go roll in school, I get my apartment set up, and then I send for my family. But once again, she chooses not to move to Eastern Michigan. She said she wasn't comfortable being there. So she needed a little be around family for a support system. So she didn't choose me then. And then I eventually invite her down to go to a dance and stuff of this nature, and she refuses to dance with me. It took me 10 years into my marriage to dance with my wife. Yes, I'm embarrassed to admit this stuff. Like 10 years to dance with her. But she can stand me up on prom and then go dance all night with a dude. This woman has been rejecting me from day one. This is a cold-hearted woman. I love her. And will I take her back? Hell yeah. I mean, I desired for her to accept me in some kind of way. But the reality of it is, she doesn't accept me, you know? So another 2 years go by. So now this is the first 5 years of our marriage where she refuses to move with me. And it didn't create no space in there. So, yeah, she's not going to do that. Did I cheat in college? Yeah, but I mean, I'm not blaming my response. I'm letting you know my response was inappropriate. If I seen it at that time, I probably should have ended the marriage then before I got in too deep, or not cheated. Those were my options. A mature young king would have done either sever that relationship or be faithful. Those were, but at that time I wasn't mature enough to handle those decisions. Um, so she didn't choose me. You know, the only way she came down to flight school was like 18 months in Alabama. And she's like, well, I didn't hear from God that was something I was supposed to be doing. Like, that's God spoke to you. You go down there and do that. You do that, and I'll be here. And I remember about 6 months in, I came back. I said, if I got to be down here alone, going through this alone, why don't I be alone? You know? And this is like 10 years in, 10, 12 years in. I was like, wow, I'm tired of always going these places by myself and you benefit. Like, I'm paying all the bills where you stay at. I'm paying for 2 households. So me moving in a different house, this didn't just started me paying for two households. I've been doing this the whole 25 years, even when, we're supposedly be on good terms. She has not chosen me. So the reality of it is, this Space Jam has not just been because of the most recent event. This is this has been going on for a while. This is this is this is one of those reoccurring things. So I go to Afghanistan, you know, and I realized during then it's like I'm on the line, and I'm away from the air, and I'm completely faithful, not doing anything, not talking to anyone. I'm calling home to her, and she's being short with me, hanging up on the phone. And I'm asking her, I'm trying to do video calls and trying to get her to show me something, this and that, and she's telling me, no, that's nasty. Only to find out she's online doing it with somebody else and doing that. So the space of me being away thousands of miles and my life in danger and bombs dropping off, not knowing if I'm coming home, that space didn't draw her closer to me. That drew her closer to someone else who didn't do anything for her, didn't pay one bill, but they were able to slide in her DM and make her feel good and feel comfortable enough to be doing all this stuff. So I'm not under the illusion that this space is going to draw her back to me when she has demonstrated that she doesn't want me. You know, all I'm asking right now is like, cut my head off. Don't still be married to me. And you would say, well, why don't you go divorce her? Because I still love her. I mean, a part of me is still, I got bit by something. A part of me still wants to be chosen by her, even though I know that I'm not going to be chosen by her. So um, that's why. So what I told her this morning, like, don't have me dealing false hope. Talking about, hey, if you wait this long, then potentially I may choose you and this and that. No, cut my head off. You know, if God brought me this far for you to leave me, then it's your time to leave. Like, make it happen. She give me threats. Well, I'm going to put a restraining order on you so you don't come by the house. And I know that sounds bad, but I'm going by the house and mow the grass. I get calls over there to do the toilet, to replace the toilet. So those are the type of the solicitations I get, or the invitations I get to go do work. But these other individuals get to slide in the DM and say, hey, beautiful, and this and that, and they don't got to contribute anything, you know? So when I'm over there, I'm sustaining and building something, you know? The other niggas ain't cutting grass, they ain't replacing toilets, they're not paying mortgages, they're not paying cable bills and board and water and light and consumers. They're not doing any of that. But they get your time freely. So I'm not under the illusion that, hey, this space thing is going to create this all of a sudden these feelings for me where you feel like you're missing me. If you didn't choose me at 1920 when I put that ring on your finger and you chose to stay away from me 3 years, there's no way you're going to choose me now. So don't give me this illusion like this this is there's this healing properties that's going on with space. Nah, nah. Crucify me. When it's over, it's over. You know, I'm gonna stay up on this cross. I mean, not to say that I've been holy. Like I said, my responses have always been less than holy. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. So I realized, like, when I got rejected by her, yeah, I went out and I tried to get something that was different with a different woman. So she would say, hey, I'm not moving down there. I would self medicate on infidelity with someone that was in the area that I was at. But I realized two things during 25 years. Like, the two things I realized is that one is that I cannot replace her. Like, what I want from her, I can go get another woman, but I can't get another Laura. I can't get another Laura. You know, no matter how much rejection she has given me throughout this 25 years, no matter how much I have tried to self-medicate on lust, I have not been able to replace her. She's irreplaceable. Like, There's something about her that I grasped from day one that I just could not get over. Like, what 19-year-old or 17-year-old, actually, when I met her, tells someone they're going to marry her, and then as soon as he gets a job, Bull buys a ring to do it, and then go sets up a place for us to live, and then sends back for her to come get her. You know, I wasn't one that says, "Hey, don't come there. Let me come down. I'm doing the military. I'm going to be busy." I'm on the phone crying like a little simp. It's like, "Hey, I didn't get married to be living separate." And she used to tell me, "Grow up. You a man. Like, this is what you got to do during the season." And then the same with Easton. Like, no, I'm not coming down there. So when she says no, I used to respond wrong. So the definition of insanity is like, now I just need to not respond wrong. So during this process, I need to be able to control my response. You know, um, I don't need to go get a girlfriend during this period and just try to self medicate on something. Because that's what I did during the previous 25 years when she rejected me. So what I need to do during this period is just wait for her to cut my head off. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Yeah. Well, what I'm doing is insane. Like, really thinking like it's going to change. But what I'm doing different now is like, I need to just wait for my head to be chopped off. Like, I don't have an issue meeting women. I don't have an issue that. So they're not in short supply. And I'm not saying I'm the most handsome dude or whatever, but that's not an area that I struggle with. But I have an issue being accepted by my wife, and wanting and desiring something from her that has been absent for, you know, 25 years. Like, in these instances where she's not choosing me, she's been at peace doing it. And she can justify why she didn't do it. You know, she wanted to be close with her mom or whatever. We had kids and whatever, but there was other couples down there navigating through that stuff together, um, and they made it work. So whatever it is, it's like she's gonna do. She's gonna do. Like, so I told you I remember when I was running. There's two things that I cannot control. The two things that I realized during this marriage, and one is that I can't replace her. So I'm not going to go through the imagination thing thinking that I can and just say, oh, I'll just move on. No, I've tried that. It doesn't work. It may come a point in time where she cuts my head off and I don't have a choice. Yes. Then, yes, I will deal with that feeling at that time of moving on. But I know as long as I got oxygen right now and there's no paper served and there's no anything, I need to continue on, waiting it out. So the reality of it is like I can't replace her. The other thing I realized is that I don't control this woman. She gets this narrative like I'm controlling. Nigga, if I was going to control you, you wouldn't have had an option not to move with me down at Fort Custer. You would not have had an option not to be with me in Eastern Michigan. Those, if I was controlling something, you think those are outcomes that I'll be sitting on the phone begging and pleading for you to choose me, and you'd say no, you don't want to do this? If if I controlled you, you would be doing that stuff with me online when I'm trying, because I'm trying doing the exact same time. You know, I don't know what he said that I didn't say, but I was trying. I was sending flowers. I was still paying the bills. I mean, like, the reality of it is like, you just didn't choose me. So what makes you think that you're gonna choose me now, like, with space? So whatever. Um, I'm not dealing in false hope. Like, let's real talk. Let's either get this show on the road and you cut my head off, or whatever. Let's go through reconciliation, go to counseling, and try to work out how to be in a healthier state. Because just as you don't want what we have had 25 years, and I'm speaking directly to my wife now. You see when I transition. Um, just as you don't want what we have for 25 years, neither do I. I don't want 25 more years of rejection and stuff of that nature. I want something different. So I'm not asking an invitation to stay because we're at 25 years and it's great. And I will conclude on this. I was just in Illinois and seeing my aunt, my mom's older sister. um, 81 years old, and has been married 61 years. And and she told me it hasn't been easy. And I challenge you all, Young Kings, before to talk with someone who's been married longer than 25 years. And I did. I followed my own advice. I went and talked to my aunt. She's been married 61 years. And she said it hasn't been easy. And there's been time they both went out. But staying was one of the best decisions she made. You know, um, 61 years. So 80, she got married around the same time I did at 19. She got married October 4th, 1954. 1954. And they're still going strong. Now, do they have a perfect marriage? By all means, no. Have they went through some storms? By all means, yes, they have. But the beauty of it is that their love is still together and they're able to steward um, their family, their kids, their grandkids, their great grandkids, and they have seen that go. And that's the desire I want. I want to get through this hardship, but the reality of it is like I don't have a voice or a choice in this. Meaning like everything that comes from me, I can send her flowers, and it's going to be looked at. Hey, don't send me flowers because then you're going to be thinking like I want to work things out with you. But these other dudes can just slide in the DM. Like I said, and the thing about this current rejection, like I said, I used to live down in Eastern Michigan, married to this woman on full scholarship, going to college. She was 45 minutes away, and she wouldn't move and wouldn't drive down there. It was too far. But now at 25 years in our marriage, she can go drive down to some dude that hasn't invested anything into her, that hasn't been anything to her other than a good time. Explain that to me. Tell me that's not cold-hearted. So a lot of people think like I'm this big tough guy that I'm bullying her. Hell no. This woman has bullied me the whole time. Meaning that she says, no, I'm not going to do this. And she don't do it. I used to tell my wife, I used to tell her I'm struggling. I said, I'm struggling. And I used to say, you are my only moral outlet. Like, if I don't get affection from you, where am I going to get it from? You know her response to me? That's your problem. That's between you and God. Don't put that burden on me. That's what she said. Don't put that burden on me. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. And guess what? She would take her ass to bed. But then later down the line, if I get lonely and I go out someone and I meet a woman and she said, oh, you smell nice, you smell good, and then we engage in a conversation, now I'm wrong for my response to that. But she don't see the many months and years that I was begging for her and like, hey, can we just go out? Can we do something? And and she would tell me no. I just say, you my only moral outlet. If I don't get it from you, where I'm going to get it from? And she says, that's between you and God. But yes, I'm the heartless one for going out and cheating. I was just supposed to stand there and take it and just take it. And I get all the bad lash because of my response. But I'm just trying to expose y'all to what I've been responding to. She has been heartless and cold towards me, but then be open and available for others. That's heartless. So the reality of it is, yes, I'm asking, let's not deal in this false hope. Cut my head off and sever this thing. If God brought me this far for you to leave me, then leave. Then leave. That's your choice. I don't control your choice. I don't control anything about you. Because if I had controlled things, it would be drastically different. So I'm not under the illusion that I control anything. I control nothing. I'm just asking for your what you have felt this 25 years of rejection and not choosing me. Give me the final rejection. Our kids are grown, Our youngest are 18, so an element of me knowing that there's no need for you to be around. You're going to get your alimony. You're going to get a couple $1,000s for 11 to 15 years, that I'll have to pay for that. So if that's all you were waiting on, more money, you got that. Your bills are still going to be paid. And plus, this new dude, whoever he is, if he's better than me, he should be able to provide a place for you that's better anyway. So don't go backwards. Don't go out there and just start being with people for free. But then again, that's your choice. I don't control you. I don't control you. But I tell you one thing, I'm gonna be okay. Am I gonna be hurt? Yeah, but I'd rather my head be chopped off than to live with 1,000 cuts. So I'm not sure how long this Space Jam is gonna be, but I tell you what, there's a spirit of intention through this space. Let's be intentional about it. Let's not go on this illusion that we're working something out when you know in your mind you've been done 25 years. You've just been waiting. So I'm gonna go get ready for work, young kings. Make it a great day.